How old were you when you first started playing the piano?
Well, probably 5 or 6 before I took any lessons. I would go to the piano and pick out little chords on like thirds or harmony type things, just because the piano was always there. But my family didn't believe in starting children too young, because if you start one child at 5 and another at 8, they would be exactly the same by age 10.
Okay, so you started taking lessons how old?
Oh, maybe 8 or 9.
Okay, and you started taking lessons, and then what happened?
Well, as I learned, we were very much encouraged by my mother and dad, because we always, no matter if we were living in a garage or what, we always had a grand piano. And we had worship many times was just the family of 6 children and mother and dad singing hymns. And both my younger sister and my older sister and my mother played the piano. So, and my brothers, I had 3 brothers and my dad, and they all had very pleasing voices before I was 12 and playing for the younger departments.
In the church?
In the Sabbath school.
Okay. And then what happened? When did you start playing for church?
As nearly as I can remember, I was about 12.
Okay, so you were the main pianist for church?
Well, I was one. We had several. And we took turns, so we had somebody that scheduled us, so we knew ahead of time we would be given a schedule of what Sabbaths we were to play. We never had a schedule for Sabbath school. And the schedule...
During high school?
I was an accompanist for the different school organizations. It's the different glee clubs.
Okay.
And there was always... I was always in a glee club as an accompanist.
What about, wasn't one of your first jobs typing for the Voice of Prophecy?
It was my very first job. I was 15 and 16 years old. I was a senior at Glendale Union Academy. And my mother, when I started high school academy at Glendale Union Academy, my mother suggested I take typing in the 9th and 10th grades, when it was primarily not allowed until the 11th and 12th grades. But Mother said if you learn to play and work with the different groups, it'll just, help you that, you'll have a head start.
Typing.
Typing, but playing the piano for the glee clubs.
Okay. So you worked for Voice of Prophecy.
a ninth grade typing teacher was later one of the office personnel at the Voice of Prophecy. This is in 1940. And she came to the school one day and she said, I really need some help as a typist and office personnel at the Voice of Prophecy on Sundays and during the week after school. And by that time, I had my limited license. And I think it was a Model A sedan that we had because we always needed a car somewhere. And I was able to work after school and on Sundays for the Voice of Prophecy.
Did you hear any of the music that they did? At the Voice of Prophecy, did you hear them singing or anything?
Yes. In fact, they had two outstanding singers. One was Del Delker, and the other one, I can't remember her name right now. And I was not only able to, I didn't play for them for the radio program at all, but there were times when they came to our church and camp meetings. I was always busy playing for somebody.
Okay. Now we're in college.
Yes, and our college, it was a boarding school, Christian Adventist school.
La Sierra.
La Sierra. Mm-hmm. And we had music, had a lot of music, and a lot of people played the piano. A lot of girls played the piano. And we girls took turn as the dean needed morning and evening worship, and we played the piano for worship. I only went to 2 years of college. Yes, okay. You asked if your dad enjoyed my music. He was very proud of it. He loved it, and he had certain favorite songs that I still to this day I include them in what's in my Sabbath music.
Okay, what are some of those songs?
Oh, I can't remember right now. Take Up My Cross and Follow Me was one of your dad's favorite songs, and I always had to adapt the song because it was written with the tenor with the melody when you found it published.
And then you played for General Conference in 1954. I remember that as a child.
Yes, and there was also a youth conference in San Francisco.
Okay.
In one of those in the 50s.
Okay. And then for a number of years you were out of the church.
Yes.
And you continued to play.
For the Baptists.
Excuse me. Okay.
That was really interesting, how I got to play for them. The First Baptist Church in Reno was rebuilding their main church in Reno, Nevada, the First Baptist Church in Reno, Nevada. And while they were remodeling their church, they rented our church on Sunday, and they had an organist, Hazel McComas, for many, many years, but our church only had a Hammond organ, and she was a pipe organist, and she refused to play the Hammond organ.
So that got you playing for them.
Yes.
So
For
after
12 years.
17 years of playing for the Reno Baptist Church, then you came back to the Adventist Church.
Yes. Well, I had was coming back to the Adventist Church while I was still playing for the Baptist.
Okay.
Now,
Except I got paid for playing for them.
and you've been playing ever since, right?
Yes, I just quit about 2 weeks ago.
And you're how old?
89.
Okay, so I want you to play one song, just a moment. Perfect.
Well, there were times when I left the Lord, left playing gospel music, and yet when I came back and developed a relationship with Jesus, He restored the years that the locusts had eaten and blessed beyond anything I could ever have done. He always has been on the piano bench and the organ bench with me, besides my 2 children. They were kind of raised on the bench. And God has been good, and it has been music that has really helped me to express how I feel about Jesus.
Okay, Mom.
We were able to have an entree into an unexpected reward of being active in gospel music is that music can speak to people that may not ever hear about the Lord in any other way, wouldn't be interested in even listening to music, much less religious music. And I have actually seen people who didn't want to come to a musical program. We gave a program one time at the women's prison, and there was one gal, Sandy Finelli, who really had been a Christian at one time, but she was really fighting it off. But she did like music, and she came to one of our programs at the women's prison in Carson City, the state prison for women. And we had the Heritage Singers as our guests. And the Heritage Singer director, can't think of his name right now, issued an altar call at the end of the service. And Sandy Finelli had just been fighting it. She was an inmate, had a very serious, long sentence for kidnapping out of the Las Vegas area. And she rededicated her life to the Lord in that prison. And still, to my knowledge, is active in the Adventist Church.
Okay, Mom. Thank you so much, Mom, for this lovely interview. And if you would look right up here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Love you.
Well, I love you too, and it's been wonderful to share it and to have both you and Allan close to the Lord, and to not just come back to the church or particular belief or whatever, though our belief is very specific, and it just has given us all a real purpose for living.
I love you.